We will call the, Board of School Directors Reorganization meeting to order. This is December 3rd, 2024. The Boyertown Area School District Board of School Directors holdover members are Mr. James Brophy, Ms. Ruth Thieroff, Mrs. Wendy Kratz, Ms. Christine Nyman, Mr. Anthony Panarello, Mrs. Marianne Scott, Mr. Brad Updegrove, Mr. Roger Updegrove, and Mr. Jeffrey Zawada. We'll now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pursuant to Section 4-402 of the Pennsylvania School Code, this is to notify you that a meeting for reorganization of the Boyertown Area School District Board of School Directors will be held tonight, Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Boyertown Area School District Education Center in the boardroom. The Boyertown Area School District Education Center address is 911 Montgomery Avenue, Boyertown, PA 19512. We have no public speakers registered for public comment period number 1 this evening. At this time, I will ask for any nominations for temporary president. Mr. Brophy.
Mr. Brad Updegrove.
You're up second.
Joe second. Mr. Dwyer.
Are there any other nominations?
The motion to close will be in order.
Nyman makes a motion to close.
Brophy second.
As the nominations are closed, and the only candidate,
They need to, all those in
Oh,
favor
vote.
say aye. To the motion to close.
Aye.
Aye.
as the nominations are closed, and the only candidate nominated is Mr. Brad Updegrove, I move for Mr. Brad Updegrove's election by acclamation for the position of temporary president. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Brad Updegrove was elected as temporary president and will assume leadership of the meeting.
Don't get the gavel.
Just pass the gavel.
Just hit it hard. Ready now? Yes. He doesn't. Okay. Made you feel good about it.
Yes, feel better.
Go to the next one. Okay, the next page. Okay. Temporary president. Okay, this is really good. Okay, get ready.
All right. Are there any nominations for the position of board president?
You're up. I nominate Jim Brophy.
Any other nominations?
I nominate Tony Panarello.
I nominate myself, Roger Updegrove.
Okay, do I state that then?
No, is there a motion to close?
Minor motions to close.
No, yeah, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna now ballot for board president amongst the three individuals.
Mr. Sultanic, is it appropriate to ask for the person they wish to nominate?
Yes,
Okay.
to vote for
Vote
at
for.
this point. They've been nominated. There's three nominees, so each person would vote on their nominee.
So we will now take a roll call vote where each board member will cast a vote for a nominee of their choice. The nominees are Mr. James Brophy, Mr. Anthony Panarello, and Mr. Roger Updegrove. Mrs. Scott.
Mr. Panarello.
Ms. Kratz.
Mr. Panarello.
Ms. Nyman.
I'm going to vote for Mr. Brophy since the last 2 years under Mr. Panarella has led us to no further movement with our education.
Mr. Updegrove.
Which one?
This would be for president.
No, Roger.
Oh, Roger Updegrove, sorry.
Myself.
Ms. Duroff.
Mr. Mr. Brophy.
Mr.
I'm
Brophy.
sorry.
Mr. Brad Updegrove.
Mr. Panarello.
Mr. Zawada.
Mr. Panarello.
Mr. Panarello.
I'll vote for myself.
As there are 5 votes for Mr. Panarello. 1, 2, 3, 5. Temporary president will announce Mr. Panarello.
Pass the gavel down. Your brothers. Are there any nominations for the position of board vice president? Ms. Deeroff?
I nominate Chris Nyman.
I nominate Jeff Zawada.
I'm going to nominate myself.
Okay.
Motion to close.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
At this time, I will poll each board member and ask them to state the name of their choice for board vice president from the nominees of Ms. Nyman, Mr. Zawada, and Mr. Roger Updegrove. Mr. Brophy.
Ms. Nyman.
Ms. Deeroff.
Mr. Nyman.
Mrs. Kratz.
Mr. Zawada.
Ms. Nyman.
Ms. Nyman.
Mr. Panarello.
Mr. Zawada.
Mrs. Scott.
Mr. Zawada.
Mr. Brad Updegrove.
Mr. Zawada.
Mr. Roger Updegrove.
Myself.
Mr. Zawada.
Myself.
Mr. Zawada has received 5 votes.
Do I have the motion to authorize the continued use of the current signatures until the system is updated to reflect the board's new officers, which are the same?
Actually, we
So we don't
don't
have
need
to do
that
it?
motion because
It's the same. I'm not going to be appointing committee appointments tonight, so at this point, it's going to be board comment.
Anybody wishing certain committees, please let Mr. Panarello know, and we'll do our best to fill you with those positions.
Roger, you have comments?
Yeah, I want to be on the facilities again, and for the BCTC.
The
The BCTC is not a committee appointment of the president, that's a vote of the entire board. And I don't know whether your term is up at the BCTC or not at this point. It's usually a 3-year term. Okay. Yeah.
I don't think it's, I don't think.
No,
it's
no,
up yet.
we'd
It's not
have
up
to,
yet.
we'd have to know when his
Right.
term is. We'd have to
think he
know
has
when his
another
term
year.
is. Okay,
I think he is 2 years in, you have one more year.
yeah. So there's no need to vote on that, and there's no, the president appoints the internal committees of the board, but to the VOTEC and to the IU, they're board actions. They're board appointments.
Ms. Nyman, comment?
Yeah, it's a shame that we can't get new leadership in here and that some of the board members don't realize we've done nothing under the past 2 years under our current board president. So hopefully we will get something done, and if not, heaven help this community.
Ms. Kratz?
Question for Mr. Stout. Are there any updates on the elementary school walks? Is that,
Mrs. Moyer, I'm sorry, my voice is a little hoarse, so I
okay.
apologize. Mrs. Moyer and I were talking about that this morning, and we're working on getting something out in the next day or so to push out for the interest for the buildings. The typical day we're talking about doing it would be the Friday before our winter break, and doing it around a time that in buildings there's some sort of activity that's already happening. So,
Ms. Scott? Ms. Dirol? Any comments?
No, I said, what does she want? I couldn't understand it.
we were talking about our seniors last year did not have an opportunity to participate in a graduation walk.
For this meeting,
No,
to be, okay,
I was just clarifying what you asked.
Mr. Brophy?
No.
Mr. Updegrove? Mr. Wab?
Thank you.
Just want to clarify for Ms. Nyman, we have done stuff at this board. We've gotten turf fields on the agenda. We've gotten to talk about possibly
What education?
doing, well, I'm going to get to that. We talked about possibly having on the finance, we talked about getting all-day kindergarten. These are things that are talked about, and those are things that equate down the road to scores going up. And I can't wait for us to talk about getting smaller class sizes when you have to hire more teachers, and I want to see how you vote for that since you're so about education.
Me? Yeah. I say congratulations to everyone who's been on the board, and I do, for the time that I'm in the role that I'm in, look forward to working with all of you. Yep, upcoming announcements. We have a little bit of a break until our next board meeting. The next board meeting that is scheduled is our Committee of the Whole meeting at here at the Education Center on January 14th at 7 p.m. We also have a School Board of Directors meeting scheduled for January 28th at 7 p.m. here at the Education Center as well. All upcoming meetings can be found on our BASD website calendar.
Do I have a motion to adjourn? Second? Meeting adjourned.